It's, we are live. How long will it be? As
Hello.
long as it takes you to answer the 20 magic questions. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Danny has finally come over for psychic profiles. And so we can find out all about him.
About me.
I mean, I don't ask any embarrassing questions. I just ask about your psychic self.
Yeah, no, I know.
So,
Yeah, you've got a lot of people on there asking about their psychic stuff.
I know, and I'm not even started. I mean, I really have to push next week. I'm really going to push to try and do one a day and
Wow.
tape them and then put them out because I want to do them through December. And then in December, I'm going to be doing my Advent crystals again, starting December 1 with Dave.
Yeah,
We're going to do Advent crystals again.
cool. Excellent.
So, what are you up to other than you had a lovely Tuesday evening, didn't you?
What was Tuesday evening?
The blue
Oh,
wave. I've got on my blue wave, my blue tsunami, my cat T-shirt with the.
I have
the
my frog tsunami. It was, it really felt, not to get into politic land, but it really felt good for humanity. It felt like,
Mhm, mhm.
it was just a good breath of air where it wasn't just all about. I mean, we're going through such a huge shift, and it's hard for a lot of us to let go of the old way and
Mhm.
embrace a new way. And I think Tuesday, it was a little kick in the pants. Let's get going.
Yes.
So that was good.
Well, anyway, so now about you and being psychic, which has
Uh,
nothing to do with all the rest of this stuff. Well, it kind of does. We wouldn't have met if you weren't. Um, when did you first realize you might have psychic abilities?
what's psychic mean?
Just that you knew things people didn't seem to know around you, and
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. So the first time I knew that I had psychic abilities, um, knew or admitted. That's a good question too.
well,
I think the first time that I went, wow, I didn't know I could do that was I took a metaphysical course in the late 80s, and it was about psychometry, where
mhm,
you put something in your hand and you read the object in your hand.
mhm,
And so I went and did that to a stranger. Well, not a stranger, to a friend of mine outside of class. And I go,
mhm,
I've been playing with this. She goes, here's my ring. Read that.
mhm.
And so I got about 80% right reading that ring.
Mhm.
And she goes, oh my God, you can. And so she told me it was about the engagement ring, and I got where he proposed.
Mhm.
I got a lot of good stuff out of it. And I go,
Mhm.
wow, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, psychometry, that thing we're probably not going to do on YouTube.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah.
And is there a single aha moment in your life that you sort of woke up and said, "Oh, I'm psychic," or just little inklings over time?
It huh. Well, okay, I don't think I've ever said I'm psychic. The first time I heard somebody say I'm a psychic, it shocked me. I'm like,
Mhm.
that's not me. I think that we have this as an innate ability
Mhm.
from our star seeds. So yeah, so it's. I don't think it's anything extra special. I just have more time on my hands now to hone it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and admitting it helps you hone it a lot.
Oh my gosh. That was that I still struggle with that. So,
Well, I think psychic's kind of a catch-all term, and then you get into people consider it different practices that you show your abilities, and to me, it's all the same thing.
yeah, right.
It's
Right.
all energy. So,
It's all energy. Yeah.
so, and so anyway, that's that's where we are.
Yeah.
Is this streaming to your audience? Do you know?
No, I don't think no.
Okay,
Oh, no, I'm not. This is just you.
because I looked up and the thing wasn't there, so I was like, oh.
Oh,
Um, did you have a lot of experiences as a child? Or I know growing up in the Catholic Church, that's an experience enough for anyone. But
that was a good one. So, here's a real interesting story. So, I always thought it was normal to have an imaginary friend to talk to. My
mm-hmm.
wife goes, I never had an imaginary friend to talk to. And I go, well, you missed out.
Mm-hmm.
But so when I was, and it was probably like my first year in grade school, and because I went to a Catholic grade school,
Mm-hmm.
and um, my imaginary friend was Jesus before I went to grade school, because
Oh,
I
okay.
grew up in a very religious, not like evangelical type thing, but we had, my dad would always go to church every day. So that was his form of meditation, I think. And so Jesus and I would hang out and would go do things.
Mm-hmm.
And so I told the nuns, yeah, I talked to Jesus. And they go, does Jesus talk back to you? Yeah. No, that's only for the priests. And I went, what? You can't talk to Jesus like that. That's for the big ones
Yeah,
that have training.
that's for the God Inc. thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And I went, oh. He goes, well, you can talk to angels and you can talk to, Mary. And I'm like, so that kind of squashed that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I think, so that was it. And, but my dad wasn't so into it, but my mom had a little side gig woo woo thing. Her family
Mm-hmm.
was always into, did a lot of astrology, and she's
Mm-hmm.
more open to this realm than my dad was. So we're living in two twin worlds,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm so excited for the kids today who are growing up with parents that fully accept and encourage them tapping into their intuition, tapping into their higher selves in the unseen realms. It's going to be so exciting as we move forward. We
Yeah.
may not be around. We may be the ones that are talking to them in
Yeah.
spirit. But
Telling them what to do or where to go or
yeah,
what to watch out for.
yeah.
And that, so that, well, those, actually, it was a nun who, I had people tell me all the time that I was psychic. Things happen around me, and they'd go, that doesn't happen to normal people. But I had a nun who I took theater from, Sister Mary Fernanda. She's the shortest adult I probably knew in my life, because I was in grade school and I was almost taller than her. And I'm all of 5'3" now. So, I mean, we're
I
talking.
knew a lot of very short nuns. What's up with that?
I don't think they're really nuns under there. I think they're bowling balls. But anyway, and she was the big habit, the penguin suit, the whole deal. And she was talking to me one day, and she said, when I was a young nun and I was opening this theater program here, I was painting sets late one night in the theater. It was a theater that we did our shows in. It was on the campus of this women's college. And she said, all of a sudden, a man walked out in full evening dress, 1920s style, with the top hat and the
Yeah.
bob chain. And he looked at her and he said, "You're a fool, but this is going to be a success. So don't ever let them talk you out of it." And I was like, I said, "Really, sister?" And she said, "Yeah." And she said, "Don't ever let them talk you out of it." So I think she could see it in me.
Mm.
But she was incredibly good. She knew which kids to nurture and which kids to
Yeah.
take
Yeah.
one of the that's how she expressed her abilities. But
That's so important for us as we move forward into this higher vibrational state, whatever that
mhm,
is, that we support this type of, people call it work, I call it play.
yeah.
It's serious, but
Oh
it's
no.
fun, but it should be play.
And the problem with children is that they see things they can't interpret.
Yeah.
And Sean one time got angry because a friend of mine was reading at a Halloween party. He said, "Well, I want to read too." And I said, and I knew he could see things, but I wasn't encouraging him to do it to a bunch of drunk adults. And he went over and he was reading a pumpkin, like a pumpkin that was the head.
Yeah.
And she said, this woman came up, she said, "I'll read my pumpkin. What's pumpkin say about me?" And Sean said, "You shouldn't be so sorry. You're hurting. You're really hurting but you made the decision you had to make, and it's going to be okay. You're not in trouble for it." And the woman burst into tears and ran away. And I found out later from a friend of hers who was at the party, she just had an abortion.
Oh my gosh.
And
Oh
that's why you can't let little kids read strangers.
yeah.
That's my, and he's going to kill me if he hears I told that story again.
Oh, hope he doesn't listen. Hey, I wanted to say hi to Sharon Sipe and to Jean, Sun Psychic Jean, and Jen
Right?
Cooper. Hello, everybody, and Elaine. Hello, hello, hello.
Yep.
Eric.
Danny can see all of the chat.
I know, this is
Because
exciting.
when I first set up my StreamYard, I set him up as a partner, and he can mess with this whole show, guys.
Oh,
Really nice to Danny. How was it when you shared your experience? Was it with people? Was it mixed or supportive or skeptical or?
it was mixed, and I still have not. This is weird. I still haven't shared this with my family, my hillbilly family members. My Buddhist brother, he knows all of this stuff, and he plays around with ruins, so he's stepping into it a little bit.
Mhm.
Um, but he's really more grounded than, I mean, of he's of the Buddhist philosophy, so he's wanting to be in the now.
Mhm.
Want to be anywhere but now sometimes. But so my sister and I used to go to psychics all the time when she lived in Albuquerque.
Mhm.
Now I hear, I'll say something to see, let me test the waters and see how open she is to hearing some of this, and she just poo-poos it and she starts slapping it down, and I just back away from it.
Mhm.
So but it is coming out. Some of my family members have found out that I do this work, and it's all very receptive, and I don't really care at this point.
Well, I
So
don't care either. I'm just saying that can't affect how you deal with things, though.
right,
I tell you, when I was in politics, no one knew what I did.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, and when I came out and started reading in public, and people would come up from that world, and they'd go, could you do this when you were working with us? And you could see it flashing through their minds,
Yeah.
all
Right.
those things I thought and said and did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, did you seek training or did you just find it all on your own?
No, I seeked I I seeked training. So when I started, the first time that I really found the cards, I was in L.A. in
Hmm.
'80s, and a friend of mine came over, and she had a deck of cards, and she started reading, and I go, that's amazing. And so
Whatever that was amazing too. Whatever you just did.
that was a hair tie that I was playing with. It was not an orb. It was a bat.
Oh,
Anyway,
that looked like a bat.
left over from Halloween. Um, and so she brought over a deck of cards. I was fascinated with him, and so I got a deck. We went to the Bodhi tree for those people in LA who know about this. Anyway, we went to the Bodhi tree. I got a deck of cards, which I still have here, my original Rider Waite, and I kept those. Well, I still have them, as I said, and I would use them, not use them, use them, not use them. So I
Mhm.
really wasn't jumping into it um, until about 2016, and then I started taking. I was retired. I moved. I started reading every day from 2015. Before I would read for certain things, certain events in my life. I'd pull out the deck of cards and read and do this. But then, 2015 is when I started seeking training, I think. I mean, there was training in between there, but that was the big one.
Hmm. So that was kind of the shift to
That
this.
was,
This
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah,
yeah. Um, so cards were always part of your specific practice early on.
yes, yeah.
And did you study astrology or did you study anything else?
I did, I have studied astrology and I have not put in the time to really understand it. Um, I, and so, I mean, right. So after the tarot study courses, then that went just down into so many different areas.
Hmm.
So I'm interested in it all. Somebody said you have many facets about you in your spiritual practice, and I've always thought about that. And I go, why can't why am I and I'm happy I'm not, but I always think, wouldn't it be good just to have one main focus and be like so really good at it? And I jump around too much, and
Hmm.
so and I'm okay with that, but I've always wondered. I just think I'd be bored with doing that one thing all the time. And I know I'm not explaining myself correctly, but
No, it's people ask me, well, you do crystals and you well, first came the cards and then I studied astrology and stuff. The crystals didn't hit me till 2019 when I was in Denver,
yeah,
you know. So we all have different elements that enter into our lives, and then you have to decide. You don't have to decide. You don't have to say, well, I'm only going to read cards, or I'm only going to read this, or I'm only going to read that. Uh,
right.
you can but some people like, well, I picked up the cards and that's where I really felt, and there's nothing wrong with not doing 100 things either.
Correct. Correct. And I find that there's certain methods that will are important in different parts of your 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 live stream.
Hmm.
So if yeah, I mean, cards are very intuitive for me. So, that really, I that's how I learned to read them in the very beginning, and
Mhm.
learned the all the traditional type descriptions of them, and then
Mhm.
I got all the traditional descriptions of them, so it becomes just more organic when I'm reading them. And then all the different cards are out now. It's like, oh my gosh, you could just get so much information out of all these different cards, and which one do I pick up? That's a whole fun experience all in itself. Which is the deck of cards I should pull
For this question.
for this, or for this person? Yeah.
If what's the best advice any of your mentors gave you?
Stop judging. Stop judging myself and what I'm saying.
Okay, that leads us to this fun question. How did you tell the difference between psychic impressions and your imagination?
It's well, I just heard. I'm very clairaudient. I heard it's a different flavor. Going, oh, thank you. Um, so, and my taste buds are awful. So I mean, I don't have really clear taste buds. So I'm not sure why they said it's a different flavor to me. Maybe they're just reminding me your taste buds are awful.
You're not
But
a super taster?
no, I lost my sense of smell and taste for 2 years,
Oh.
and it went into phantom smells, phantom,
Oh, that's worse.
and it was only one smell, one taste. So for about a year, year and a half, the only thing I could smell was like rancid oil,
Yeah.
and the only thing I could taste, don't ask me how I know this, was like Jergens hand cream.
Yeah.
I don't know what that, I mean, I've never eaten Jergens hand cream. I think my mom had it. But anyway, that was horrific. I lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, you will. Are you
My
better
favorite
now?
my favorite food group, beer,
Mhm.
tasted like hand cream.
Oh, that'll get you sober quick.
I'm like, yeah. So I stopped drinking. It was weird, and I haven't really looked into if there was any metaphysical thing with that. I'm sure there was. I'm sure there was some kind of enlightenment that came into my awareness. But yes, so intuition, or just my inner voice. A lot of the inner voice for me um, will it's a lower level message than
Mhm.
in the it's hard to describe. It's a different awareness, a different sound. Sometimes when I hear the voice, it's a different sound than what I would normally hear.
Mhm.
So yeah.
And those are all things you just have to experience it, open yourself up to it, and
Yeah,
let it
right,
happen.
right. And if it's coming from, if the message I hear is coming from a loving place and it's me,
Mhm.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So, right, I'm going, well, I don't care where I got it, it's from a loving space. And since I believe we are all interconnected with Mother Earth, Father Sky, our guides and angels, it's just a different way that I got it.
Okay. I mean, and one of the reasons I ask that question is because when people say, well, how do I know if I'm hearing things that's not my imagination? And you'll know it. I mean, you'll feel it. It's a cellular, it's something you feel inside your body. It's not something that I've heard very
Yeah.
well explained, but you'll know the difference.
Well, and the thing too that we forget to do is ask our guides, hey, can you show me the difference? What's the
Mhm.
difference between you and me and
Mhm.
in my in talking? And they'll sometimes they don't answer right away,
Mhm.
so depends on your quiet space practice and your meditation practice and things like that, so that and pretty soon you'll start to notice it.
Okay, and this leads us to: are there moments when you've doubted yourself and how did you push through it?
Oh, hell no, I've never doubted myself, ever.
Oh, okay.
Ever. Am I the first person to say that?
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, it goes back to the judging thing. uh,
Mm-hmm.
stop judging yourself, because then you go, oh my gosh, yeah, it happens all the time. It creeps up all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And you just have to, for me, the setting the space up right. So if I'm going to be doing a reading or something, whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
metaphysically, it's kind of a goofy word for this, but what if I'm dropping into spirit, then I make sure that I set up my sacred space around,
Mm-hmm.
that I have my bubble, that I have my protections, that I have my awarenesses coming through. And then I just, if it, and I try to make it, I try to focus on giving a message that the other person will be able to hear,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes when I'm talking, I don't even know what I'm saying. So I have to go, can you say it in a form that I will understand, or that they will understand?
Yeah.
So
That's Danny just said something really important, because people will say, "Oh, but you read me 2 months ago and you said da da da," and y'all act like it's me that's there. It is me that's there, but a lot of the messages that are coming in from not particularly out of my own little conscious brain.
mhm.
And when people say, "Oh," one woman said, "Isn't that just a dodge that you guys don't want to own what you do?" And I'm said, "That's why I tape your things, and you can go back and look at them."
Oh yeah, there is, from my very beginning training in tarot, somebody said, one of the mentors said, go back, tape the recording, which is really scary, uh,
Mm-hmm.
first time. And then I rarely listen to mine again. But, and if something doesn't resonate with the sitter, then come back later and see if it resonates 3 months down the road. Because sometimes they're not ready and open to hear the message that
Mm-hmm.
out. And sometimes when I say something, if I'm in the zone, if I'm in um, channeling the message, I don't even know really what's being said. And I go, this doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe you got it. And some people go, yeah, that makes perfect sense. And others
Mm-hmm.
don't. And it's okay.
Yep. So I always think about it. I look at it this way: if I think, "Oh, I ought to temper that back because of the person across the table," and then I'll think, "Am I doing that for them or for me?"
Mm, mm.
So then it's like I learned reading.
That was a big question. Am I doing it for them or me?
Am I editing for them or for me?
Yeah.
Do I not want to look like a fool? I mean, say the things trust me. Y'all have listened to me talk long enough. You'll know I'll say the thing that's foolish. And so um, I think that's a skill you learn over time.
Yeah.
Anyway, have your abilities gone through strong and weak phases?
Yes. That
Okay.
was a yes no question, right?
Well, do you know what causes shifts? I know what caused my shifts.
What caused your shifts?
I almost died.
Okay, well, yeah, don't do that anymore.
I'm practicing waking up every day. Yes.
There we go. Um, yeah, the shifts then happen with me. So the awakening shifts that happen are, see, somebody's agreeing, um, is, well, the thing that I remember most was going through a very emotional time in my life. I mean,
Hmm.
what, and I couldn't figure out how to get out of it. Um,
Hmm.
and and it was, I just kept waking up thinking, is it over yet? And it wouldn't be, and I'd have to travel somewhere to try to help, and it just never it was horrible. And so that caused me to do a lot of meditation and a lot of letting go and a lot of surrendering. And so that opened up. That was when the around the 214, 215, 16 time where I really started jumping into learning tarot and looking for classes. And I remember taking this one intuitive class where we met for probably an hour and a half, 2 hours. I drove out like 40 minutes to get there. And I went, I would never do that. I mean, ever. And
Hmm.
why I decided to do that, but that opened up this whole new, I mean, it opened up the practice that I am, the path that I'm on now today. And but I to this day I didn't understand why I did that. So the the downside, though, I want to get to the downside of me not being in tune with the voices in my head, and that is when I get too busy with things. So when I was focused on other things like paying the mortgage, car payments,
Hmm.
starting a business, all that took so much time and energy that I was focused not on hearing the unseen realm or hearing the unseen realm. I was looking at the seen realm. So it was all 3D stuff versus the unseen realm.
Right.
That's yeah. And that's a lot of us, people who come to me and say, can you give me a reading? Well, they're too busy in the 3D world to access this themselves, or
Hmm.
they need a fresh perspective on it, which I get, because a lot of times I can't read myself because I'll twist it a little bit,
Really?
just just a little bit.
A little bit. I'm not a reader who can read myself. I also can't read my kids
Yeah,
because I want the best, and
yeah, right.
I'm gonna can't read my grandkids either. But,
Really?
yep.
Well, and it looks, like in my neighborhood, a few people know um, that I'm psychic. Did you see it? I said that word about me.
Mhm.
It's hard. I still struggle with that.
Well, we're profiling you right now, Danny, and we'll say at the end what.
Okay. So, but when so in my neighborhood, a few people know,
Hmm.
but I don't like to read people in my neighborhood at all because it's too close, and they'll go, "Oh, well, you said this," and I don't want to get,
No, we don't do that.
yeah,
And they get dependent on it, and they're your friend, and you don't want to screw it.
yeah. I tell them to go see you.
Good. Is that where all those strange people come from? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Danny, what do you do to protect your energy?
uh, Sometimes I think I don't do enough, but So every morning, I wake up and my practice is honoring the four directions, and because I can't count, it's actually seven directions. So it's the north, south, east, west, above, below, and myself. And so in that sacred space, I bring in, my power animals, my power animals, my helping spirits, my guides and angels, and I ask them to stay with me for the day.
Mm-hmm.
And then at night I go, okay, thank you. I just need a couple while I'm sleeping. The rest of you can take a break.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to make it light with them,
Uh-huh.
because I don't want it to be everything to be so heavy. So I really try to keep a lightness.
How long have you known that you had guides around you?
Not counting Jesus, my best friend,
Yeah, not counting Jesus, your best friend.
but I do count him anyway. Um,
Since you were little, you always sensed things.
well, yeah, I have always sensed that, but then again, I shut them out a little bit. So I would always look to the religious um, approved method of talking
Mm-hmm.
to your guides and angels. And so, but it would have been um, in I think the 2015 era, that in
Mm-hmm.
that time, um, when I said, okay, if I have one of these guys around me besides my angels, if I have a guide, come talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting. I go, come on now. So I was out underneath the stars, and I asked the question again, and I hear, oh, I'm here. And I go, yeah, I know, I'm here. And the name, and I go, give me a name. And the name that came out was Archangel Abigail.
Mm-hmm.
So she was the first one.
Yeah, 'cause see, when I worked psychic fairs in the 70s and 80s, everybody had a guide and they were always an Indian princess or you know, some great warrior or whatever. And I just, quite honestly, I thought it was a sham. Um,
Yeah,
I do what I do. So I
right.
didn't charge forward doing that. So I went to Brian Weiss a weekend event. There were 800 people in this ballroom, and he did mass hypnosis on 800 people 5 times that day. And one of the times he hypnotized us to go meet our guides. And as I was drifting off, I was going, well, this will be a short trip, you know. And next thing I knew, I met her. I mean, that's how I met Addie. I saw her and where she was and all about her, and I I realized I knew in life a genetic person related to her, and I met. She's someone I used to read, and when I came back from Austin, I said, I think I had a vision about a relative of yours. And I said, she had kind of a weird name. And she said, was it Addie? There's always been an Addie in our family, and we don't know why. And that kind of did it for me. Yeah. Okay. And no,
Yeah,
Addie, and when I asked Addie, I said, well, I'm sorry, I didn't pay attention to you. Have you always been there? She said, I've been with you since you were little.
yeah,
And I said, well, I'm sorry, I didn't talk to you or pay more attention. She said, it's okay. You did everything we told you to do. So it wasn't so much me running them as they were running me.
right, right. So what do you think? I'm going to turn the tables on you.
Sure.
What do you think about when people tell you you have guides? Oh, do you know that you have?
I listened politely.
Okay.
And I had a medium, you and I both know, medium Kim, outside Austin. She was doing a reading for me. She said, oh, can I see your guides? And I said, sure. I have two guides always, Addie and Frank. Addie's this the good person that keeps me in the straight and narrow. And Frank is my protector, and Frank has protected me. Um, and so she said, "Oh, well, can I see your guides?" And I said, "Sure." And the next thing I heard her gasp, and she said, "Pull him back." She said he filled the room. He was so huge. And I said, "That's Frank. It's okay." And she said, "Mm." And well, you know about Frank because we've had things happen around us, and other people have things happen, and nothing happens to me, and it's because Frank's there.
Frank's there.
Frank's there. But
It's in one of the things that you just said that I think is really important. When Medium Kim says, "Can I see your guides?" So she's
mhm,
asking permission.
right.
That's so important,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
And some of us just go, "Come on, guys, show up." Maybe be a little nicer. Hey, can I have permission to see you? Can you show up and
Mhm.
things like that? Yes. So um, I find so I'm going to answer my own question. When somebody tells me that I have a guide around me, Medium Kim also said she was the first one that said, you have three aliens around you, and that was before that.
Oh,
Um,
I remember being back in those days. Why would I have aliens around you? I said,
yeah,
why not?
yeah. I'm like, what the hell? I mean, anybody who believes in aliens has got to be crazy. Is anybody in the chat that I should not?
Dr.
Oh,
Gale.
dang. I should have said that. Um, and so that just opened up this whole world for me. So when somebody tells me that, oh, I see that you have a guide around you.
Mhm.
Somebody told me that I had a Native American guide around me, and his name was Big Moon. And I went, really? I've never felt Big Moon before. I saw Big Moon this morning. It
Yeah,
was gorgeous.
yeah, it's gorgeous right now.
Gorgeous, big moon. And so I go, "Hey, Big Moon." So I did talk to Big Moon, but I
Mhm.
really, I go, I said, well, let me tap in and see if I can sense him. I could a little bit, but not really interacting with me. However, there's been some that they say you have a guide around you, and I go, okay, well, let me see if that resonates with me in this moment in this time. And I get chills right now thinking of this one guide, and I go, oh yeah, yeah, she is around a lot and has been with. I mean, we've had multiple lifetimes together.
Mhm.
So it's just getting to play in that. If somebody says something, I think it's important to tap into it and to get your own information, and how it fits in your path today. Because maybe that person was looking at a different time stream,
Mhm.
and saying, "Oh, you had this guy, and maybe he was really important in another time stream of mine,
Right.
and he's still there
And you
for
know,
a future time stream."
and I keep telling people, they say, I can't hear my guides, I can't speak to my guide. I said, are you talking to them? Well, they don't. I can't hear them. I said, talk to them. Well,
Yeah,
got to invite them into the conversation here.
right, right.
How has this work changed your worldwide views or beliefs on life and death? It's a light little question.
Um, well, I guess the first thing that comes to mind is, I am, and I don't think I ever really was, but I know for sure I'm not afraid to die.
Hmm.
I don't care about. It's not that I'm looking forward to the other side because I'm experiencing it now in a way. Um, but it, but it's like, okay, time to go.
Mm-hmm.
But I really, really, really like it here. So it's not my time to go yet.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it has changed me in that I don't take some of the things that happen too seriously, if that makes sense. I take it, it's serious, but I try not to focus on the negative or the outcome of it. I don't know. It just, I have a lighter perspective on life, even though there's some really crappy things going on. It's just we can be in a really bad space and still maintain a higher vibration, a lightness about it,
Well, yeah.
which will help the time uh, transmute and transfigure itself to a
Right.
better place.
Right. Okay. What's one of the most powerful readings you've ever done, and what made it so memorable for you?
Oh, that's that's a weird question. That's a weird. Um, okay, I have to think about this. And the reason I think it's weird for me is a lot of times when I read, I don't remember what I read on.
But mhm.
So um, so in order to answer that, I guess I think it's when I was doing some mediumship work.
Mhm.
Whenever I do mediumship work, I'm I'm like, how did I come up with those answers?
Mhm.
I mean, it really surprises me a lot that what I'm coming up with, and this goes back to the trust, this goes back to the non-judgment, that I have pulled in a discarnate spirit's energy and am giving the sitter a message that they needed to hear.
Mhm.
And it's so those readings um, are memorable, but it's the reaction, I guess, that's memorable.
Mhm. That's good.
Okay.
Okay. How do you deliver sensitive or complex messages? If you get something and you realize this can push them over the edge, this is maybe territory I shouldn't go into, or but I'm being handed it by the universe. What do I do with it now?
Yeah. Yeah. It's that's a good question because see, the first question was weird. This one's a really good one. I'm sorry. Um, because I was just thinking about this recently, and I I don't know how I do it, but I tend to give difficult information in an easily digested way, and I'm not quite sure how to do it. I'm not sure that um, I'm not sure if it's a learned thing, but I was thinking about this. I go, is this something that I could explain to somebody else? And then you ask me. Um, and I don't know if I can explain it now. I think I'll be able to explain it later when I put more thought into it.
Mhm.
But I think it's something that really needs to um, be considered as a reader, how you give that
Right.
information. And I think a lot of new readers don't consider that, or they will back away from the message.
Right.
I,
Because they don't feel that they can handle that for
yeah,
someone.
right, right.
And
So getting back to that, I think with it, when I talk about that, I go, this is not necessarily what is going to happen. This is something that could happen or that you could be dealing with now, and you have a choice right now
Mm-hmm.
to change that energy,
Mm-hmm.
so that if it is something that came up in a future type reading, that you can change, because we all have free will. We
Mm-hmm.
can, we can move these blocks around to our benefit.
Very good. And then, what advice would you give to someone who's just starting to explore their gifts?
Mm, have fun.
Yeah.
Have fun. Um, I think that it's find as much quiet space as you can, and I think that that would be setting up specific times during the day that you would find your quiet space in. Journal a lot, and pick one thing to study, and feel like you take that one thing that you study and work it so that it is more second nature, and that you're not really thinking about what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's practice, practice, practice.
Practice, practice, practice. And it's not about a lot of people. One of the things that I told myself in the very beginning of this learning process for me was that going to become, I was not going to get a master certificate on this.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't about graduating or a diploma on something like this, because I have enough of those. And whenever I got the diploma, I go, why'd you give this to me? I know nothing about what I'm doing. I just started scratching the surface, and now I have a master. You gave me a master diploma, something.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm so new at this. I shouldn't have this. So I said, with my woo woo practice, it's always going to be a learning experience, a learning. I'm always going to continue to learn, and so I'm never going to want that piece of paper that says you've achieved this,
Mm-hmm.
because it's always fluid.
Right. It's not
Yeah.
like you are here on a map. It's a different,
Yeah. Yeah.
energetically, it's different.
Way different.
Um, how can someone find a trustworthy psychic, find trustworthy people within the psychic community or as a mentor?
Um, Write this down. Call 888
Hmm.
trustedpsychic.com.
Okay.
And no, no, okay. Um,
I guess
that,
if there's a second part to this question. Are there any red flags to avoid?
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
1-888 psychic, trustedpsychic.com. That's the red flag.
Mm-hmm.
So for me and for everybody, it's going to be different. Um, if you resonate with them, that's the key. If they push you in a certain direction that you are not feeling comfortable with,
Mm-hmm.
that to me is a red flag. It's not to say they shouldn't go there, it's just a big red flag, and really look into it. Because sometimes we need to be pushed into things that I go kicking and screaming into certain places. You can ask Dr. Gale. Um, and she, gently nudges me, but it's me making that step. Um, when I hear the word "you should be doing this," "you need to," I kind of back away from that. To find somebody, I think YouTube is a great place to start, but I wouldn't again, I think there's a discernment that needs to be used with this, and what resonates with you and what they say. And it's got to go back to, is it who is being served? Is it
Mhm.
the whole, or is it an individual that's being served? Some of these people, and maybe they're great, who charge exorbitant amounts of money to do a reading or something. I'm
Mhm.
like, why? I mean, to me, that is a red flag for me.
Mhm.
I went to, I saw a shaman from, I think he was from Africa. And I go, well, let me check out his sessions because I really liked what he had to say. It was through the Shift Network. I go, I really like what he had to say. Let me go see, what this guy's about. He was charging like $3,000 for an hour. And I'm like, what makes you? I mean, he comes from a long line of, he had a lot of history, but I'm like, I don't know. That just threw up a red flag. And um, not that I could afford $3,000 an hour,
I know.
but still,
And
yeah,
it's not even there has to be some exchange of energy to get anything out of a reading. So I'm going to start by saying that. So when readers charge, there's a reason, because unfortunately the only thing we have in our world right now that sort of shows energy's been exchanged in a lot of cases is money.
yeah,
So I can understand that. But, you know, do what you can do. And then I taught some tarot classes, and then the women that were in the tarot class, they figured out when I say practice, 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 what to do. They created their own subset of groups, and they
yeah,
meet and practice, practice, practice. I mean,
right,
there are ways to get to these things, but there's I paid a high price. I paid a lot of money to a therapist who was a metaphysical therapist, and I'm not going to go into all of it, but trust me, guys, at the very end, she betrayed me big time at a very key point in my life. And boy, did I learn from that lesson. And because when I confronted her about it, she said, well, I wanted to help you the way people had helped me. So I set it all up so I could be there to help you pick up the pieces. Needless to say, I grabbed my own pieces and took them home and found another person to help me put them together.
right.
And you don't break someone down to tear them up, to
No,
together.
no, no, no. I
And if
mean,
you don't feel comfortable, that's okay. You know?
so it goes back to, the first lesson would be, trust your intuition
Mm-hmm.
and ask, hey, is this the right person? And just what do you feel? And it may be the right person for a short amount of time, so you
Mm-hmm.
somebody else. So, um, yeah, and getting back to that energy exchange, it one of the reasons why one why I do charge, and sometimes I don't, but
Mm-hmm.
when I do, if if they want me to be there at a certain time, then I charge
Right.
because sometimes they don't show up. And so I've spent my prep time
Mm-hmm.
there and then they don't show up. And I'm going, oh, that's not
Well, I
right.
find when I charge them first, they always show up.
They show up. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the best system energetically, but as you said, it's the only system that we've come up with right now.
Right.
Um, I had this one where in the beginning, before I got burned so many times with people not showing up, was I said just pay it forward, and this woman showed up and she goes, "I got to tell you how I paid it forward," and it was her experience was so magical, way better than the reading that I gave her.
Mm-hmm.
her experience of paying it forward blew my mind. It was so great.
Well,
And that's for another video.
that's okay. One last question, Danny, and we're almost at the hour. What's the biggest lesson you've learned in your psychic journey? This is the easy question I saved for last.
The biggest lesson, huh? Well, that's kind of hard. I'm going to change it. The biggest takeaway I get is how many amazing people are in this community.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I laugh a little bit and I say, I'm a COVID reader. I learned in COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I did. I started my YouTube channel around, I just came out. I started working psychic fairs. COVID came, shut us down. And so then I started
Right.
putting things up on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And this community is, there's more people out there than I ever imagined that have special gifts. The people that are watching the videos and commenting are so talented, so tapped in. I learned so much from everybody in the community. It's just awesome. Some of them, again, you have to use your discernment, but it just opens up my awareness to places I never thought it would go. And so for that, I'm so grateful to the community that shows up to all these things. It's awesome.
Well, I have a surprise for you.
Uh-oh.
Somebody sent me a girlfriend for psychic duck.
Let me see that. Come on, Psychic Duck. Say hello, Psychic. Oh, what do you
She's
think?
got shades and everything. She swims around.
She's hot. Come on now. She is.
Anyway, on that very serious note, that's how Danny and I always tend to have everything. Anyway, I look forward to doing the world grid with you soon.
Yes, yes,
And,
yes.
and keeping everybody apprised of that. And thank everyone for showing up. You've lasted an hour.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.